Hi everybody, how are you? I am step 2 of your basic training on how to get started in your website. So right now I'm in the back office and I will show you how to get into this spot, but I wanted to start this and make this the least bit confusing that I possibly can. Okay, so when you start as a presenter, you are a white status presenter. So as you can see here, status goes all the way across to black status. Then you've got your personal retail sales, company wholesales, and qualified first level presenters. So what I'm going to start with is to get you qualified, you need 125 in sales every month. What that means to be qualified, $125 is done in USD, and I'm clarifying this, and it is minus your commission. So they're not going to give you credit for $125 when you've actually made commission off of it. So you got to think of how much more that is in commission. But it is in USD. So it's $125. That's to have white status. That's your personal retail sales. This is the goal to be qualified every month, is to have 125 in sales. So next thing, what you're going to do is you're going to try and reach yellow status. So at white status, you're making 20% on everything you sell, and it is going to your pay quicker. So the thing is with this, with 125, you are getting 20% commission on anything you sell. Then you have the whole time to get to 1,000 in sales. So personal retail sales, you'll hear us say the short form acronym PRS. That is to get you 1,000 in sales. Once you get 1,000 in sales for the company, that's 1,000 in USD sales, of course, minus the commission, because they're not going to give you the credit for the commission. You are now going to have a permanent pay increase of 25%. You're never going to go back to 20%. You're always going to be at 25%. So right now, all we're dealing with is white status and yellow status. Once you hit yellow status, we announce you. Way to go, you've hit a milestone. You've sold and got a pay raise. Fantastic. Next thing, and I'm only going to go to pink level, because it just completely depends on how fast and how far you get in your sales. But what I would suggest is that you try as your goal to hit 500 each month. But for pink status, you need to have 250. Once you're at pink status, you're going to be collecting from your team. So anybody underneath you, so you have to have one qualified first level presenter. I know this seems confusing, but it isn't that bad. I'm just trying to explain it. So once you hit pink status, like after you've hit yellow, your month starts over again. And you have a whole month to get paid as that status, but you're always getting paid 25%. So if you want to hit pink status, you have to have a minimum of 250 in sales, again, 250 USD minus commission, and it's in USD. And you have to have 2,000 in company sales, which means you and whomever you have underneath you has to have 2,000 in company sales. And you need to have one qualified first level presenter. And qualified means 125 in personal sales, PRS. So once you've hit yellow, you reset every month. You have as long as you want to try and hit yellow status. So say, for example, January you did 125. And then in February you did 125. So now you're at 250. It just keeps on rolling until you hit 1,000. And once you hit 1,000, you're now making 25%. You never go back to white. You start off each month as yellow. But when you start to grow, this is where you want to make sure that you have one qualified presenter, 2,000 in sales, so that could be you and say 4 people underneath you, and you have 250 in personal sales in order to be able to collect from your company. You're always getting 25% here of anything that you sell, but if you want to collect from your company, you have to make sure you have 250 in personal sales. Say you've got 5 girls that have come up with the 1,017.50, and you have to have 250 in order to collect from your team. I hope I haven't confused you. It's a little bit different, so I'm just going down here again to show you. When you are white status, you're making 20% of all of your sales. When you're yellow status, you're making 25% of all your sales. When you're pink, you're making 25% of your sales, and you're making 3% off of your company, meaning anyone that's underneath you. Pink is a sweet spot, and that's why we are going to stop here so I don't confuse you any more than I need to. So again, 20% at white, 25% at yellow, 25% at pink, and the circle royalties are what you're going to collect from your team. You're going to collect 3% on your team. So as you can see, it goes up, but we're not going to get into that and confuse you. So I want to get the screen to go away now. So this is important to know because you want to know what it is you're going to get. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing with this computer. I had to get a different computer than my own. In order to get all this stuff, this is what you need. 20%, 25%. 25% is what you get, and you collect from your company at that point. So say you had, I'm going to scroll back up here. Say I told you again, in January you had 125. In February you had 125. But then you had like a killer month, and so 125 and 125 is 250. And then you had a killer month, and you had 750 in sales. You would now become yellow status. You now are making 25%, and you've made your pay increase. Now to find this chart, this is just the basic chart. When you start and you sign up, this is at the bottom of your sign up. If you want to find this, you would go to your back office where you've signed in your name, and it has to say My Office in order for you to be able to access it. You go into My Company. It's not loading. And I don't want to sit there and share all of these girls with you because I don't think they would appreciate it. But you go into My Office, and you will see right now I have nothing in PRS because I've been waiting for my debit card to work, and nothing's been working. And this just shows you different people in your downline. But in order to know what you're doing in your company, sorry, I pressed on the wrong thing. It's this box. So it will show you right now that I'm starting off at yellow status, and for a new month, I have to get 250 in PRS and able to collect from my downline. And same with blue, and then when you get up to the higher ranks, you got to get higher. So that's it for my tutorial. I just need to learn how to turn this off. Give me 1 second. And that's it. I hope I explained things well. And if you have any questions, please ask your upline.